Hey everyone, this is Mark from Wiki. In this video, I'm going to walk you through getting set up with the WP2FA plugin, which is going to add two-factor authentication to your WordPress website. So whether you're using the free version or the premium version, I'm going to guide you through the setup wizard step by step, so you can have two-factor up and running on your website in just a few minutes. So let's just jump right in. So now I'm going to show you the process of installing the free version and getting everything set up. So what you're going to do is go underneath your add plugins right here and just search for WP2FA. And then you're going to want to install this one right here by Melapress. So just go ahead and click install now. And then you can go ahead and activate the plugin once you install it. So after you activate the plugin, you're going to automatically see this setup wizard. So what I'm going to do is walk you through step by step on how to set up WP2FA. So let's go ahead and click Let's Get Started. And inside of here, you have two different options. The first one is you could do it where 2FA is going to be synced up to something like a Google Authenticator, which is a separate app on your phone, or you can do an email code. Let's go ahead and just turn off this one right now, and let's just focus on the 2FA app right now. So now you can go underneath here, just hit continue. And then this next part is the user is going to be able to have the option to have backup codes. So what this means is if a user loses their app or their email for some reason, this is going to be a set of codes that they can input into the plugin, and then they're going to be able to gain access back into their account and then get everything set up. So it's optional. You can turn this on or off, but let's just go ahead and keep that on. Hit continue. And then this is where you can go ahead and make it where the 2FA is going to be for all the different users on your website. And then this option, if you only want to have certain users, you could put that in here. And then if you have certain roles, so if you want all your subscribers to have it, you could just type in something like subscribers, and you should see your user roles will pop up right here. And then this is going to be where it's not going to be enforced automatically, but the user can always go ahead and add 2FA if they want. So that's what this option is right here. Do not enforce on any users. Let's go ahead and just click all users. And then this next screen is actually going to be if you want to exclude certain users. So if you don't want any of your admins, you could type admin in here, or if it's specific users, you can just add this right here and it would exclude them from having to deal with the 2FA. So let's go ahead and just hit continue here. And then this next option is nice because it's going to give the users the ability to have a grace period before they have to configure 2FA. So you can make it this button right here where they have to configure 2FA automatically, so they're not going to have a grace period. But then down here you can have it where you can give it by hours or days. So you might have seen this in other accounts that you might have had where a bank might tell you, hey, after a few days you have to configure 2FA. And then there's some good options right down here. You can users who miss the grace period, you have an option to like block the user or has it in their dashboard, different notification. So this is a nice little setting right down here. Let's go ahead and just make it where it's straight away. And then that's it. You're going to hit finish setup. And then this screen right here is nice because you can go ahead as the current user you logged in, you can configure 2FA right now, or you can always close the wizard and configure that later. So let's go in this situation and click on configure 2FA right now. And I'll show you how you can set that all up using the Google Authenticator. So let's go ahead and click on configure 2FA now. And as soon as you do that, you're going to notice that it redirects you to your profile page. So this code right here is going to be what you need to scan on your Google Authenticator app, and then it will all sync up. So I'm going to open up my cell phone over here on the right side so you can see the process. Okay, so now I'm going to open up the Google Authenticator app on my phone. So as you can see here on the right, this is what the first screen is going to look like before you configure anything. So as you can see, there's a big blue button that says add a code. You're going to go ahead and click that. And then it's going to ask you to scan a QR code. So just go ahead and click that button. And as soon as you do that, you can see on the screen, what you do is as soon as I move over the QR code, it's going to automatically scan and configure everything. And as you can see, there's a number on the screen right here. So let's go ahead and just hit continue now. And you're just going to type in this number. Right now it's 179454. Go ahead and hit validate and save. So that's it. You're now officially connected. And so now when you log into the website, you're going to put this code in. And before I show you how the login process works, let's go ahead and click this button, generate a list of backup codes. So during the setup wizard, when you set up the backup codes, this is what it looks like right here. There's these 10 different strings. And what the user can do is now copy this, download, print, or send via email. And this is going to give them access to the back end if for some reason they lose their Google Authenticator app or their email. So now they have a backup. So you can just go ahead and click any of these. And after you do that, I'm just going to hit ready and close the wizard. And now what I'm going to do is actually log out of the website and show you how the process works again. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in. And once you hit login, you're going to be prompted to enter in that verification code. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Google Authenticator app and just type in the code that's prompting. And right now it's 774019. And that's it. As soon as you do that, you're now officially logged in. So now the user can go and just normally access everything on the back end. So instead of using the two-factor app, I'm going to show the process of how it works over email. It's very simple. So during the setup wizard, you had the two options. You could do the 2FA app or the email. So in this case, let's go ahead and do it where it's going to be over email. So you can just go ahead and hit continue. And then you can just hit I'm ready after you see this. This is going to make it where the emails are going to get sent to the user's email that they configured, during the WordPress setup. So as soon as you do that, you're going to see here's my mail. They're just going to get this code in a regular email right here. Just go ahead and copy that and paste that back into here and just hit validate and save. That's it. Emails are very easy to set up. And then they're going to get the option to do the generate backup codes if they want. So I already showed how to do that in the 2FA app, so I'm not going to do it. Just go ahead and click I'll set this up later. So now I'm on that user account and you can see that the 2FA setup is configured for the email now instead. So now I'm going to show you the process in case you skip the wizard and you haven't configured your 2FA settings for a specific user. I'm going to go ahead and show you how that's going to work. And what you do is you go underneath your WordPress users. And in this case, I'm just going to click on this existing user admin. And when you scroll toward the bottom of the page, this is going to be where all your two-factor authentication settings are going to be. So underneath here, you can see the 2FA configuration. This is as if you didn't go through the wizard. So this is how you can go ahead and configure it. You go ahead and just click configure 2FA. And let's go ahead and in this case, let's just choose one-time code via 2FA app. And again, I'm going to be using the Google Authenticator app. So let's go ahead and hit continue. And as you can see here on the right of the screen, this is my cell phone. So I'm going to show you the process. So this is the Google Authenticator app freshly installed. So you're going to go ahead after you install it and click this button, add a code. And then as soon as you do that, you need to scan this QR code. So right here where it says scan a QR code, I'm going to go ahead and click that. And as you can see, once you hover over this QR code, it's going to automatically give you this number. So now this is going to be the number that you're going to use to log in and out of the website. So first you need to configure it. So go ahead and hit continue. And the number on the screen is 802535. You just hit validate and save. And that's it. Now you've officially configured your Google Authenticator. So I'm going to set up the backup codes later. So now let me actually log out of the website and make sure that everything's working correctly. So I'm just going to log in like I normally would. Admin, my password. I'm going to hit login, and then this is what it's going to look like when you log in with your Google Authenticator. So you just go ahead. So in this case, the code's just 028590. And once you do that, that's it. And you've officially logged into the website. So now the user is going to just use their Google Authenticator app every time they want to log in. So now I'm going to go and show you where all the different settings are. So in case you close down the wizard when you were setting this all up, you can always access all of that information again. And that's all going to be underneath your WP2FA right here. This option right here called policies. This is where you can go ahead, and this is where it's basically the same questions it asked during the setup, like who do you want it for? You can do exclusions. And then this right here, really good options. They give you, this is where you're going to be able to have it where site-wide, you can do it where they can do email or the two-factor app. And then you can see right here, it gives you another option in case the user has a different email address, for example, they can toggle that right here. And then you can also hide some information. This is where you're going to do your grace period. So basically the same stuff that we had during the setup wizard. And then one thing I do want to note is I do recommend before you enable email, make sure that the emails are sending correctly. And the way you can do that is underneath your white labeling right here where it says customize email templates. They have this option right down here for the email delivery test. So I highly recommend you want to make sure that everything's set up So you want to make sure it's green right here, and then you're actually going to get the test email. So if we go back in, you could see that this was sent correctly. Because if you don't have that set up correctly, then people aren't going to get the emails when they try to set it up. So definitely recommend making sure that the email delivery is all going to work. So if it's not for some reason, you might have to change your email settings in WordPress, or if you're using SMTP plugin like Fluent SMTP, you're going to want to make sure that you can go ahead in here. And sometimes enabling these options, depending on how your email is all set up, you want to make sure that that's sending correctly. And then you can see down here, if you start to have some options that you really could use, this is when the premium version is going to come into play. So I'm going to quickly install the premium version and show you how you can have all these different options, when you have your premium version. So now I'm going to show you the process on how you install the premium version. So once you've already purchased the premium version, you should get a zip file, and what you're going to do is just go ahead and click Add Plugin, and then you're just going to click this button, Upload Plugin right here, and just choose the file on your computer, and then just go ahead and click Install Now, and activate the plugin. And after you install the premium version, if you click right here, WP2FA, this is where you're going to go ahead and add your license key. So just go ahead and paste it in here, and hit Activate License. So now you're going to notice that the free version automatically deactivates, and then this new premium version is on. Now the good thing is, once you do this, all the settings that you configured for the free version is going to get transferred over to the premium version. So you don't have to worry about reconfiguring anything. So everything you did up during the setup wizard, that's all going to be inside the premium version. So now when you go underneath your WP2FA, so as you can see, as soon as you install the premium version, you're going to see more settings. So for example, under site-wide 2FA policies, you're going to now have access to all of the different systems like the YubiKeys and the text messages. All of the different things that were included in premium is going to automatically be enabled right here. The user access, you're going to have a lot more options inside of here as well. And what's really nice about this is now underneath your white labeling, I like how you can now easily edit all of your emails. So if you go underneath white labeling, email templates, this is where you can go ahead and change how your emails are going to look. So I really like how this is all set up. It's really nice and easy to understand. And if you have your SMS, this is where you can go ahead and change your settings right here. So what's also nice about the premium version is this reports tab is like a high level of showing which users or roles have or have not configured the 2FA plugin correctly. And this is nice down here because if you give the user the options to have all these different integrations, you could see which ones are like more popular or which ones certain users are using or not using. And then if you jump over into the settings over here, and then this is where you can go ahead and configure all of the different integrations. So if you're using SMS, this is where you're going to go ahead and add your information in here, your YubiKeys, this type of stuff. And then you also are going to have the option to export import. So if you are going to be using this on other websites, you can go ahead and do that right here, and it'll give you the option to do import export. And over here on the sides, this is where they have some documentation. So if you need some walkthrough steps, it's here on the right side, or you can click here on the left where it says docs and support. And then there's a lot of good information here if you need help setting up the plugin. And that's it for this tutorial on how you can set up your two-factor authentication using the Melapress plugin. Now, if you run into any issues along the way, the support team is going to be really happy to help you. So just open up a ticket and it will get all sorted out. Thanks for watching and trusting the Melapress team for your site security. See you in the next one.